Welcome to this English enrichment video. This is a series of videos intended for advanced students of English who would like to increase their vocabulary or clarify some of the more confusing aspects of English grammar. In these 3 tapes, we will focus on idioms and verb phrases, as well as some troublesome grammar points and pronunciation difficulties. An idiom is an expression that is peculiar to a language, and its meaning might be concealed in wordplay, social custom, or an out-of-date reference whose original meaning has been replaced by a more current usage. For example, to kick the bucket, which means quite simply to die. Or to have butterflies in your stomach, which means to be nervous or anxious. Or to be head over heels in love. This means to be in love with someone very much, and the image created is of someone falling. The occasional use of idioms is a fun and colorful way to improve your use of English. So let's get the ball rolling and begin. Throughout this tape, we will be following the romantic adventures of John and Linda, classmates who help each other with their English homework. In these dialogues, they use many idioms and verb phrases which may be a little confusing at first. So let's look at a few.
John, snap out of it. You're not paying attention.
To pay attention means to concentrate or give importance to something or someone. In this story, John doesn't pay attention to the teacher or to the explanation of the exercises. Many times, someone isn't paying attention because he has his head in the clouds, which of course is physically impossible, but the image captures the feeling well. And when someone has their head in the clouds, it's because they're daydreaming, not sleeping, but thinking of something without paying attention at the moment. So, do you think you understand? Let's see another example.
You're so handsome and so sophisticated. What a knockout.
So to be a knockout is to be incredibly beautiful, fantastic, or impressive like a knockout in boxing. One more quick example before we see the first dialogue.
This is like a dream come true.
Dream come true, to become real, like a fantasy that becomes a reality. To win $1 million would definitely be a dream come true for most people, wouldn't it? Now, let's watch the first part of our romance. You may hear some other new idioms, but for the moment, don't let them distract you. Just listen to the story. John isn't having money problems, but love problems, and Linda is his dream come true. He's in the classroom and the teacher is explaining a spelling lesson.
When the word ends in X, the plural ending is yes. When the word ends with a double S, like in dress, you also use the ES ending to make the plural.
John, you look marvelous. You're so handsome and so sophisticated. What a knockout.
Nothing's too good for a sweet thing like you. Why, your hair shimmers like silk. Your eyes sparkle like diamonds. And your voice drifts through the air like a beautiful melody.
Oh, John, stop. You're making me blush.
But I'm mad about you.
Well, you certainly know how to flatter a girl. Why, this is like a dream come true.
The sky's the limit if you'll be mine. We'll fly to the highest mountain. I'll be the prince, you will be the princess. stars on a veranda overlooking a breathtaking moonlit sea.
Moonlit sea.
That's right. Then I could help you with your homework.
My homework.
Yeah. I could help you with your spelling. I'm considered an expert.
John.
John, snap out of it. You're not paying attention.
What?
Okay, let me ask you some questions. If you think you don't understand, or if you think that you missed something, repeat the episode before you continue, then answer my questions. Good. Now, is John paying attention? Of course not. Now, using an idiom, how would you describe John in class? He's attractive. He has his head in the clouds. He has a headache. That's good. John has his head in the clouds. He's not paying attention. Does John like Linda? Of course he does. What idiom does Linda use to describe John? She thinks he is confused. She thinks he's a waste of time. She thinks he's a knockout. That's right. She thinks he's a knockout. And now let's work on our pronunciation exercises.
In this first lesson, we will focus on the difference between the short I sound and the long I sound. For example, beat, to hit repeatedly, and bit, the past participle, for bite, to cut or tear with the teeth. In the first word, beat, the mouth is tense, almost smiling, with the tongue slightly arched. It sounds like the English letter E. Let's try it. Beat. Beat. Good. Now, the contrast sound is it. The mouth is more relaxed and the tongue is flat. Let's try it. Bit. Bit. Very good. Now, let's work on the two together. Beat. Bit. Beat. Bit. Now we are going to see a small list of comparisons similar to these words. Do not worry if you don't know the word, just concentrate on the difference between the sounds. Beat. Bit. Ease. Is. Seen. Sin. Lead. Lid. Heat. Hit. Wheel. Will. Eat. It. Now, let's hear these sounds in a few common idioms. Don't concern yourself with the meanings. They can be found in the glossary in the back of the book. Okay? What's eating him? Can you give me a hand? It shouldn't be a big deal. He'd better not be mixed up with drugs. The mispronunciation of the short and long I are common errors and will require much practice to overcome.
She's as cute as a button. I took a little cat nap.
ES, I to Y and then add ES? S or no plural allowed? What a confusion it can seem. But if you remember a few very simple and easy rules, you can always be sure of the correct spelling of the plural in English. Usually, to make a plural, you add an S to the base. For example, boy, boys, girl, girls. And if the word ends in Y, preceded by any consonant letter, change or drop the Y to I and add ES. For example, party, parties, country, countries. And finally, add the letters ES to any base word ending in the letters CH, SH, S, X, and usually O. For example, match, matches, dish, dishes, glass, glasses, fox, foxes, tomato, tomatoes. Let's try a few. You tell me if the plural ending is S, IES, or ES. Patch, toy, county, paradox, potato, plate, rash, latch, good.
Verb phrases are nothing more than a verb followed by a preposition or adverb. Usually they refer to direction or position. For example, go up the street, run down the stairs, put on your coat. But what about these? She doesn't go for that kind of moving. I've run out of patience. I can't put up with him. Here, the meanings aren't very logical. You have to find the definition from a dictionary or guess them from the context. For example, to go for can mean to buy, to go to the store for milk, but it can also mean to like or prefer, as in, she doesn't go for that kind of movie. She doesn't like that kind of movie. Run out of doesn't really have anything to do with running, as in to run down the stairs, but it means to exhaust the supply, to not have any left. For example, to run out of patience, to not have any patience left. Then you have to put up with. It means to endure or withstand. If you can't put up with someone, it means you don't like them, that you've run out of patience with them. Let's look at a few examples.
John, come up to the blackboard.
Here, come up means to go to the blackboard. But come up with means to have an idea, create something, or obtain, depending on the context. But the preposition up with a different verb will have a totally different meaning. For example, to live up to. Live up to means to maintain or reach a standard or promise. Let's see another scene.
Now, what is the plural ending for the word church?
Hold on, give me a minute.
Here, hold on is being used figuratively and informally to mean wait a second, but hold on to something or someone means to grab and not let go. Good. Now let's see the scene. You might hear other verb phrases you don't understand immediately. Relax and watch the episode a few times, and the context should tell you. So we have the teacher running out of patience with John, but then Linda comes to his aid and...
John, you know the plural for the word dress?
The what?
John, weren't you paying attention?
Could you repeat the question?
John, come up to the blackboard. Take that piece of chalk and write the plural ending for the word dress.
I don't know what it is.
All right, who can tell me? Who knows the right answer?
I know. Anytime a word ends in double S, like in dress, the plural ending is ES.
That's right. John, will you write the correct ending?
D-R-E-S-S-E-S. Dresses.
Correct. Now, what is the plural ending for the word church?
C-H-U-R-C-H-E-S. Churches.
And now do the next word.
Lash. L-A-S-H-E-S. Flashes.
That's right. Now, what about the next word? What is the plural for the word box?
I can do this one too. B-O-X-E-S. Boxes, right?
Very good. Now do tomato.
No problem. Tomatoes. T-O-M-A-T-O-E-S. Tomatoes.
Right again. Now do the word city.
No sweat. I know this one too. C-I-T-Y-E-S. C-I-T-I-E-Z?
All right. Who knows the right answer?
When a word ends in a Y, you drop the Y and add IES to form the plural.
So I drop the Y and add I-E-S. Cities.
Very good, thank you. I think John could take a few lessons from you, Linda. Be seated, John. That's enough for today.
I'd be happy to help you with your homework sometime.
Really? How about tonight?
Okay,
Around 7?
all right.
Great. Then maybe we can get a burger afterwards.
Sounds good.
John, before you head off to your next class, will you stick around for a minute? I'd like a word with you. Class dismissed.
Now let's see what you understood. Once again, if you have any doubts about what you have just watched, please repeat that section of the story before I ask any questions. Okay, ready? Who had to come up to the board, John or Linda? That's right, John. Now, is John the better student or is Linda? Of course, it's Linda who's the better student. John is daydreaming and doesn't remember anything the teacher says. Does John want to help Linda with her homework? No, Linda wants to help John. Very good. If these questions confuse you, maybe you should repeat the episode. Now, I'm going to show you some scenes from the story and show you what a few of the idioms mean. Remember, it's the end of the class, and the teacher says...
John, before you head off to your next class,
What does head off to mean? To go in the direction of, to get angry, to study very hard. Very good. It's to go in the direction of. John's leaving Mr. Jones's class and is going to his next class. But before he goes, Mr. Jones asks him to do something.
John, before you head off to your next class, if you stick around for a minute.
What do you think stick around might mean here? To put up papers on the walls? To wait? To glue something? Yes, it's to wait, to not go anywhere. Mr. Jones asks John to wait a second so he can speak with him, have a word with him. Let's review some of those grammar problems.
Do you remember the difference between count and non-count nouns? For example, watch is countable. So it's watches. Milk is not countable. Therefore, its plural form is milk, not milks. These types of nouns are also called mass nouns. Remember, count nouns are easy to count. They're individual pieces or examples of something and take the plural S form of the verb. Mass nouns are something that are impossible to count because they are too numerous, like hair, salt, rice, grass. Or they are amorphous, like coffee, water, steam, and rain. They can be mass nouns because they are an abstraction, like love. A language, like English, French, or Spanish. A concept, like luggage. Or an activity, like swimming. For example, furniture is a concept, and chair, sofa, table are concrete examples or pieces of the concept furniture. Good. Let's look at some words and you tell me if they are count or mass nouns. Luggage, suitcase, gas, oxygen, exercise, homework, job, work, mail, letter. Good. Now remember, there are two very common mistakes to be careful about. People and news. People is the plural of person, so it is always people are, not people is. And news has no plural. It is always singular. The news today is good.
A bookworm, as you can probably guess, is a studious person, one who reads a lot. This means, of course, that a bookworm will have a large vocabulary and know many interesting words. Our bookworm will introduce you to words that will enrich your vocabulary and brighten up your conversation. He will present the main word and give a definition and a series of synonyms, words that are equal or similar to the main word. Listen to his explanation while you look at the list in the book. Try to recognize the new words and get their meaning from his explanation. If needed, you can repeat the section, and if you still have any questions, you will find the definition in the glossary in the back of your book. Now, let's meet the bookworm.
dictionary. It's full of words. Let's focus on some of them and see what they mean. Focus. When you focus on something, you concentrate on it. You pay close attention to it. John has been focusing all his attention on Linda and very little on his schoolwork. Very bad. Focusing also applies to photography. When a picture is out of focus, it looks like this. It works the same way with learning. If you focus your attention on something you want to know, it will become clear in your mind, and you'll understand it. It's true. Plunge. Plunge means to jump or be cast into something quickly without giving it much thought. The swimmers plunge into the water. In fact, swimming pools used to be called plunges. It's all right to plunge, but you've got to be careful that you don't get in over your head. Occasionally, a bus will go off the road and plunge over a cliff. The newspapers call that a bus plunge. I like to plunge into my dictionary and see what I come up with. Flustered. Flustered means to be shaken up, nervous, excited. Too much confusion can leave you flustered. If you have ever been plunged into a situation where you had to make a speech in front of a lot of people and you couldn't think of anything to say, then you know what it means to be flustered. I always know exactly what I'm saying, so that rarely happens to me. Flatter. To flatter means to try and please someone with compliments. He flattered her by complimenting her lovely blue eyes, which was interesting because she fluttered her eyes like this. But that's different from flattery, which is talk like this. Oh, your eyes are beautiful. Your hair is divine. Blah, blah, blah. Flattery is insincere. Don't believe a word of it. Sparkle. To sparkle means to shine with little gleams and glimmers of light, like a brilliant jewel. Isn't that pretty? You could say the stars sparkled in the sky. Or you could flatter someone by saying, your eyes sparkle like diamonds. And as you learn more and more of these wonderful words, you will eventually become a sparkling conversationalist. Like me.
Well, here we are at part 3 of our romance, Head Over Heels. This time, it seems that John and his teacher, Mr. Jones, are finally seeing eye to eye, coming to the same point of view. In this episode, there are many verb phrases and idioms, some new ones and some old ones. Let's see a few now.
Look, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but
To occupy,
I thought I could depend on you becoming one of my top students. But it hasn't turned out that way.
to become or result in,
My mom's always on my back about staying out late.
to complain about something to someone,
I know, you're right. I can do better if I put my mind to it and concentrate more.
to apply oneself,
Now hold on. Is there anything you'd like to tell me? Anything you'd like to get off your chest?
to tell someone a problem,
She likes to complain. It's no big deal.
to be unimportant. Now, let's watch the episode and listen for the phrases. and afterwards, I will ask you some questions.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but you've had your head in the clouds lately. I'd like to know what's going on. What's all this daydreaming?
It's hard to say.
Look, you got it in you to be a straight-A student. In fact, I thought I could depend on you becoming one of my top students. But it hasn't turned out that way.
I'm sorry I haven't lived up to my potential, but I can't keep my mind on my work. It's too dull.
I know that grammar isn't the most exciting subject in the world, but
That's for sure.
look, you gotta master the basics if you ever want to get to the top. It's up to you to make something of yourself and your future. It's too important to leave to chance. You gotta give it your best shot. You may not have a second chance.
I know, you're right. I can do better if I put my mind to it and concentrate more. Thanks for taking the time to talk it over with me.
Hey, now hold on. Is there anything you'd like to tell me? Anything you'd like to get off your chest?
Like what?
Well, I don't know, something in your life? You can confide in me, you know? How's your family?
Oh, they're okay. You know, same old thing. My mom's always on my back about staying out late. She likes to complain. It's no big deal.
You know how protective moms are, huh? You can't hold that against me. But, what are you doing staying out so late anyway?
Just hanging out with my friends. We get together, talk, and have fun. I do my homework first. Dad makes sure of that. He checks it over before I can leave the house.
That's good. Sounds like your parents are really interested in your education. You're lucky to have parents that care. Many don't.
Yeah, my dad takes my grades pretty seriously. He missed out on his education, and he had to work his way up from the bottom. I guess he doesn't want me to have to go through what he went through.
Okay. That's all. I want you to remember one thing. I'm counting on you to shape up, huh? I know you got it in you. Don't let me down.
Okay, Mr. Jones, you can count on me.
Okay.
I think we should meet face to face. He's such a knucklehead. If you had some problems or got lost, repeat the episode before continuing. Excellent. First, let me ask you some quick questions for comprehension. Does Mr. Jones want to take up John's time? No, he doesn't want to take up too much of John's time. Who's not living up to his potential? That's right, John. He isn't studying as hard as he should. Which idiom describes what John does with his friends? To hang on? To hang out? To hold out? That's right, to hang out. To not do anything special. To casually spend time somewhere or with someone. Okay, let's test what you've learned with a quiz. Is John doing well in school? Who pays more attention in class, John or Linda? Mr. Jones doesn't care about John's problems. True or false? What's the problem with John? He has a drug problem. He sleeps too much. He's in love with Linda. What What does to daydream mean? To have bad dreams? To fantasize? To dream about the daytime? To hang out means to hang something out of a window, to suspend an object with rope, to casually pass the time. To be no big deal is the same as to not be important, to not make a lot of money, to not be serious.